Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Brower, and I am a Silver Elite demo. And my upline, my lead, my boss is Lori Heiling. She's asked me to share with you some information about my semi annual retreats that I hold in Worthington, Minnesota. So let me start by telling you how it started. Many years ago, I wish I knew how many. My sister and I attended our first ever scrapbooking retreat. And on the way home, we decided we could do that and we could maybe make a little money. And this was before I was even a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I knew of Stampin' Up!, I knew Lori. I used Stampin' Up! Products, but I was basically a scrapbooker. So the majority of my products were bought at scrapbooking stores, which sadly are hardly even a thing anymore. But anyway, on the way home from the retreat, we decided we could do this. And so there was actually another person in the car with us, and the three of us brainstormed the best time of the year to hold a retreat. And so, because the one we had been at was the only one we'd ever heard of, we didn't want to be conflict with the times that they had their retreats. And so we picked a completely different time of the year. And for whatever reason, but in hindsight, we've decided it was genius. We decided to host the retreat on Super Bowl weekend. Not on Sunday, but Friday night and all day Saturday. And that to this day continues to be the weekend that I have my annual retreat. I have since added a mid-year retreat, and that one is on whatever weekend is the closest to Christmas in July. So both of those things I think are important to the success of my retreat. Both retreats have what I would call like an anchor date. People always can Google when the Super Bowl will be if they can't remember the date of my next retreat. And Christmas in July is always whatever weekend is closest to July 24th and 25th. So it's over 20 years that those are the same weekends that my retreats are. Now, I'm also a full-time teacher, and so in the summer, our retreats can be longer. In fact, this past summer, we did all day Thursday, all day Friday, and all day Saturday. And of course, each night is well into the evening. So that's the first thing that I would suggest to you is pick a date that you can somehow link it to. So whether it be whatever the closest is to the 4th of July or whatever the weekend before Easter or something like that, so people can always have in their minds the date without having to remember, ooh, is it July 10th or July 25th, or so that's my first that's the first accident that happened when we started planning the retreats. So let me go back to the first one. Since we decided to have it on Super Bowl weekend, we of course decided to have a football theme, and it was a no-brainer. From years after that, we got a little tired of the football theme, and my sister actually ended up not even participating. She came to all of them, but she was more on the I want to come to the retreat more than I want to plan the retreat. So once I got tired of having a football themed retreat, I started thinking outside the box on themes. And so again, the Super Bowl is usually in, oh, sorry about that. I'm getting some messages here and I need them to move away off of my screen. So sorry. Since the Super Bowl is usually in February, I've done a Valentine theme. But I've also done random themes like pamper yourself, spa weekend, um, red, white, and blue. For my summer retreat, for several years, I did Christmas in July, so there was a Christmas theme. Um, Lately, I've thought even further out the box. My last retreat was Craftopoly, get out of COVID jail free, and that was huge success as far as um, people loved the theme. I loved the theme. I have, my summers to work on the decorations and the table favors and things like that. And so the Monopoly theme was very fun for me. It's not one you can repeat very often, but um, my next retreat is going to be a black and white retreat, just the basics. Now that I'm back in school, um, I wanted to keep it kind of simple. So it's going to be a black and white theme. And that's pretty much all I know so far. So that is how it started. Once you've picked your dates and the logistics, pick the time frame depending on what you're renting or where you're holding the event. Sometimes they have parameters for what time you can be there and what time you have to be out. I hold mine in a church, and so I'm always restricted to like 8, 9. I've tried to push them to 10 o'clock on Saturday night. Friday night we can stay as late as we want. Thursday night we can stay as late as we want. But typically on Saturday we have to be cleaning up between 8 and 9. If it's not a church, you could also continue the retreat into Sunday. If it's at a hotel, people can stay in the same venue. I've seen retreats where you can scrapbook or stamp all night long, because you just have to go up to your room, and the hotel doesn't have any restrictions on how long to stay in their banquet hall or their event room. So choose a date, choose a theme, and then start thinking about your price. In the beginning, because I was not a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, my retreat was never based on product. I wasn't trying to make any money. In fact, I was trying to kind of break even. I started off by not wanting people to think that I was making a lot of money, because, when people pay $100 to come and there's 40 people there, right away they start thinking, she's making decent money at this. So now that I'm a Stampin' Up! demonstrator though, I want to make money. And so I have connected product to my retreats. Now, having said that, I have also had to think outside the box on that, because many of the people who come to my retreats are scrapbookers, many are stampers, some are both. So there's not always been the perfect stamp set that would work for both groups of people. So I've been trying to use product. So they've all gotten a Stampin' Up! Scissor. Everybody, no matter what your hobby is, the snips is a good swag gift. They've gotten a black marker. They have gotten, gosh, now I'm just blanking out on what tools I have given them. Dimensionals, tape runners, adhesive sheets, some of those kinds of things can be in your swag boxes. If you're doing all stampers, then of course you can include a stamp set for the swag. So if you have 40 people coming, that's 40 snips that I can put in my cart, and goes towards my sales. You have to decide how much you want. I usually do that their swag bag is a $25 value. So now, again, if you think of that times 40 or 50 or even 10 people, you're getting to order $25 worth of product from yourself to give to each of your participants. Once you've decided what your products and your theme will be, then you can figure out your price. Okay, so after that is decided, the other decision you can make is whether you're going to have your retreat be a fundraiser. Sometimes mine are fundraisers and sometimes they are not. When they are fundraisers, I apply to Thrivent for matching fund, or not matching funds, but they will send $250 for a fundraiser. So that's a nice start on making your profit. That because that $25 doesn't have to come out of your own budget or your own pocket or your own registration fees. So a lot of times I pay for the food, the treats, the table favors, things like that out of that $250. If you don't have a Thrivent membership, then again, think outside the box. See what your local fast food restaurants will donate. See what any of your establishments in town will donate. Sometimes I've had a free ice cream cone from Burger King or McDonald's in everybody's swag bag. Sometimes I've had like a $2 off coupon from the coffee shop. The year that I did Pamper Yourself, I actually got coupons from the liquor store for a bottle of wine. So again, just depends on how much legwork you want to put into getting donations. Okay, so we've picked our weekend, we've chosen the dates, same thing. We've thought of where we're going to have it, what the time frames will be, the products that you want to include in your swag bag, your price. You've decided if it's going to be a fundraiser or not, and you've worked out some of that. So somewhere in that whole thinking process, your theme will probably need to be decided, because if you pick a theme that has a stamp set or DSP in the catalog, there's your product or a start of your products. So because again, even if I have scrapbookers coming, I could use either cardstock or DSP. So for my black and white retreat, they are all most likely getting a pack of black cardstock and white cardstock. I also hoarded the free celebration paper from the last round, where the back sides for sure were all black and white. I can't remember if the front sides were also. So I have lots of that DSP that I'm either going to cut up into 6x6 or keep 12x12, depends on how many people attend. Okay, the next thing I would do is send out a save the date. However you can send those things, whether it's actual mail on a postcard, whether it's email, whether it's MailChimp, whether it's Facebook Live, Instagram, whatever avenues, or all of them, send out a save the date so people get it on their calendar. I try to start advertising my dates about 4 to 5 months before the actual event. Once you've had your first event, if you decide to have a second one, on their either on their placemat or their flyer or whatever they're going to get at their table at the retreat they're at, I try to include, if I can, the next date. So if you can get ahead of that at each retreat that you hold, let them know when the next one is. So, but also send out a reminder. And then 3 to 4 months before the event, you're going to want to send out your registrations. And those I send through a email group, and I use MailChimp. I'm fairly new to MailChimp, but I'm happy with it so far. I try to send my registration for the Super Bowl retreat right before Thanksgiving, because I feel like stampers and scrapbookers are with their sisters and sister-in-laws and aunts and uncles and cousins, and sometimes those are the very people that they retreat with. And so I want them talking about the retreat at Thanksgiving. My registrations for the February retreat are due January 1st. So now in the next week or two, I will be sending out my second reminder to get their registrations in. I don't really want them to lose track of all of that over the holiday. And so I want those registrations in before Christmas if possible. In the summertime for my July retreat, I want those registrations to me by June 1st. And so 3 months prior to that is when I'll start sending out the registration information. Some of my retreats have had other miscellaneous things. They're not always at every retreat. One of them is vendors. I have had vendors come to my retreats. I sometimes feel like women, small business women, need to support each other. And so I will invite my friends who are selling Pampered Chef or oils or Tupperware, handmade gnomes, some crafty things. I've had a jewelry person come. At the last retreat, I have a friend who makes homemade sweets and treats, popcorn balls and cake pops and things like that. So I invited her to come and sell, and she was very thankful, and it was very much worth it for her to bring her things and sit at the church with us for a few hours on Saturday. I've also hired massage people. Sometimes a 5-minute massage or 10-minute massage is included in their registration fee, and then they have the option to register for more minutes on their registration form. I don't always have a massage person there, but sometimes I do. I've also had vendors that I have a friend who owns a scrapbooking store, and they're very few and far between. She's a good friend of mine, and so I will have her from time to time come. Again, before I was a Stampin' Up! Demo, that was a huge bonus for all of the people who were attending the retreat, because she would bring a nice variety of supplies from her store. Now that I am a demo, she and I have kind of a deal that will work out so that she might bring some make and takes and then sell the supplies that would allow you to make the make and takes at home, or she'll bring things we don't sell or that I don't sell. So it's also, a nice way to help her out. I've also had a used sale at my retreat. In the past, people would bring their items, they would label them with their price and their initials, and my mom and dad would run the garage sale for us and run the used sale, and they would keep track of everything that everybody made. And at the end of the event, anybody who was participating would come and pick up their leftover items, and then they would get an envelope with cash in it from the sales. It has now evolved into, if you want to sell used items, you bring your own items, you sell your own items, and you pay for another table. So I think it's $20 for an extra table, and then you can sell whatever you want on it. Sometimes we've put together a pizza order for supper. Sometimes we've had meals provided. I have found through surveys that people in my town really don't care if there are meals provided or not. I think a lot of times women like to go out and eat with their friends. The downfall with having people go out to eat is that they don't stay and shop if you're hoping that they will shop. But the plus side is there's no extra work on your part. I have hired Girl Scout troops and Boy Scout troops and church youth groups to provide the meals, and then they make some money off of it. I do always traditional, some of the traditional things that I provide, whether I have meals or not, is we always have ice cream sundaes with homemade brownies on Friday night. And we always have Italian sodas on Saturday afternoon. Those are my signature, I guess. Everybody sort of comes to expect those two things. Everything else is different every time. If there are meals provided, that's explained on the registration form, and of course, it's reflected in the price. If there are not meals provided, that is also explained on the registration form and again reflected in the price. So the less that I have to provide, the better deal people get, because the registration price drops if I'm not providing meals. I used to do door prizes, and everybody that came was eligible for a door prize. There were ways to get more tickets and have your name in the drawing more often, like by placing a Stampin' Up! Order over a certain amount of money, or bringing canned goods for the food shelf, or bringing one of the times we did Christmas in July, and I asked everybody to bring 10 pre-made Christmas cards, and then we gave those to an organization in town that was searching for those. We also sometimes in February make Valentines for the Valentine Factory here in town, which provides Valentines to everyone in all of the area nursing homes. So there were ways to earn more tickets, but what I found after time was there's a point where everybody attending your retreats has all of the tools they need, all of the supplies they need, and I just did not want to turn it into just gifts or gift cards. So I've stopped doing the door prizes, and nobody seems to care. Again, I used to do a lot of surveys after the retreats and get people's feedback. And that was one of the things that, again, after time, people started saying, the door prizes are great, but I already have, a lamp for my crafting area. I already have a trimmer. I already have a scoreboard. I already have storage boxes. So they were fun when we did them, but it also adds to your price. So now that I don't have to buy door prizes, I can lower the price a little bit. I think I have covered all of the bases. I'm honored that Lori has asked me to share my ideas with you. If you have any questions at all, please type them in the comments section, and I will try to answer any questions that I can. If you're ever in Minnesota in Christmas in July or Super Bowl weekend, please reach out and let me know that you would love to attend our retreat. You know what? Before I close, I forgot to tell you, my retreat is bring whatever you want to work on and just craft all weekend long. I have had a couple crocheters and knitters, but for the most part, it is scrapbookers and stampers. Eventually, when I retire, I would like to turn my retreat into something where they bring their basic supplies, but then they travel around from station to station and make projects that I have designed and created. And that would be exclusively Stampin' Up! Then. So I hope I've hit everything. Like I said, comment below and I will try to answer any of your questions. But otherwise, thanks for listening and have a great day.